Today I am checking out the horn on my 2012 Toyota RAV4. I had a little fender bender and it stopped working intermittently. I've got the high note, but I don't have the low note. You have two different tones. If we honk it right now, you can hear it's just super high pitched. So first what I want to do, I check the fuse, which is in this driver's side fuse box. Horn, 10 amp, this red one. I've got a test light. Check that I have both sides of the fuse are good. With the test light plugged in to the negative side of my battery, the fuse is good. The horns are under this plenum here. This guy just has a bunch of little clips that you pop up. Whatever clips you have left, mine's been on and off a few times, so you pull all those clips and you can pull this plenum out. Then if you see down here, let's see if you can see it. I've already got this guy out. This was the low note horn. This one down here is the high note. Basically, it looks like this. Plug it back in and I'll show you what I did. Basically, there's a 10mm nut holding the horn on in place. So I just got a wrench, loosen the nut, then sneak my hand in here and I could pull the horn out, pull it up, out of here. I still had the connector connected, so I could check. I unplugged the horn, this is the connector. When I press the horn, if my test light lights up, then I have power and ground to the horn, and it's actually the horn that's the issue. It's a pretty simple system. I mean, there's the horn contacts in the steering wheel, there's a horn relay, there's a fuse, there's wiring, etc. And I was worried that I damaged the wiring when I ran into something, but can you go press the horn for me?
Yeah.
So I've got my test light hooked to my battery ground and then going to this horn connector. Go ahead and press it. Okay, good. You can see this is the low note. I've got power to it, but I'm not getting the low note. So basically, I just need to get a horn, pop it in, plug it in, see if that fixes my problem. Alright, so I went to my local parts store and just got a universal horn. I could have gone to the Toyota dealership, but it's farther and more expensive, and I like a bargain. So I'm going to open this up and see how I can wire it and set it up. Alright, I don't really have enough room to get my hand down in here without scraping my wrist up, so I'm taking these 4 12s off so that I can lift this guy up and hopefully give me easier access. As always, keep track of which hardware went where. These bolts are deeper than these two, so I just kept the ones that go on the radio bracket together so I know I'm putting them back in the right place. Now, hopefully, I can lift this guy and at least get, more room so that I can reach down and get to the horn. So, checking out the instructions for this universal horn. If I had 2 wires, I would do it this way, but I have 1 wire, so I do it this way. Basically, it comes with a ground wire, so I've got to get this connector onto one of these terminals and then put the ground wire, and I will sort it out and show you how I did it. Basically, I'm just using a pair of wire cutters to cut this connector off of the wire so that it looks like this end and will fit onto my aftermarket horn. Basically, this little yellow thing is a locking tab for the connector. I pried it up with a screwdriver and then I was able to get the wire out so that it just looks like the end so that I can put it on my horn. Alright, so now I have my original horn wire connected to my new horn. This new horn has a bracket on it. Normally I would just take the bracket off since I already have a bracket down here, but this hole is too small for this thing to go through, so I need to take my old bracket out of the way and use the new one. This bracket has a 12mm bolt holding it through from the other side. Can't really give you a good shot of it, but if you can get a ratchet or wrench onto it, then hopefully you can get it loose. Alright, so I've got it started loosening up. This guy right here is your AC condenser. If you ding this and put a hole in it, then all your Freon will leak out and you'll have a new problem. So if you get a ratchet or wrench down here, be careful not to smack it against the condenser. Alright, so I got the old bracket out. According to the instructions, I just put the ground wire in there and then attach it up here. They gave me a bolt and a nut to attach it to ground, but I kind of already have a nut built in where this attaches. So just making sure that this guy is also part of that, so I have a ground for my horn. I can install it like so. And I'm gonna drop it down in there and try and get it started backwards and upside down with my little lady fingers. Alright, so basically I installed this guy backwards because it was just easier to start the bolt that way. As long as I have enough clearance down here and my horn isn't rubbing on the condenser at all, then I should be fine. And you can actually kind of push and bend this the way you need to go. It still sounds pretty high pitched, but when I have a test light on it and you honk it, go ahead. I've got power and ground to it, so it's louder. It still sounds a little high to me, but it's working, so there's that. So make sure this bracket is tight because that's your ground. Make sure your wires are good and that everything has enough clearance that it's not going to rub on the condenser. I'm going to put this, well yeah, I should be super good. I just need to put these 4 back in so that I can get this lined up where it needs to be, but it doesn't look like anything's gonna hit. Alright, so I've got these 4 12s back in place, and what I realized is I just needed to take these two radiator brackets, and then I could rock everything back so I could get enough room. But now that I have it in there, it looks like this wire is pretty close to the condenser. I don't want to rub the wire, so I'm going to loosen this guy up and twist him out of the way. See how I can kind of adjust them so nothing's rubbing. So I'll hold it in place and tighten it down so I have enough clearance. Now we've got him tightened down with plenty of room between the wire and the condenser. I can go ahead and put this plenum back in place and good to go.